Hello guys, I'm Jasmeet and welcome to Blogging Unplugged. On this channel, you will find information related to WordPress, blogging, product tutorials, updates, and other related topic. Now in today's video, I'm going to talk about Elementor 3.5, which is an older version of the plugin that was released a few months back. Now, why share an old update with you? There are two solid reasons for it. Now, the first one is this version of the plugin is packed with features, so I wanted to share those features with you. I think those are a must know features for you if you are using the plugin. So that gave me a solid reason to share this video, create this video for you guys. Now the second reason is I wanted a starting point to start sharing Elementor related videos on YouTube with you guys. So Elementor 3.5 seems like a safe bet to me. Now you will have to bear with me for another week because I will be sharing another video on Elementor 3.5, which is for the pro version of the plugin. Now that video will be released in the next week, and after that everything will be back on schedule and on track. Now coming to the Elementor 3.5 update, this update is for the free version of the plugin, which means the features included can be used by both free and premium users. Now, in case you are not familiar with Elementor, then let me tell you, it is a plugin using which you can create any part of your website or complete website from scratch without having to worry about code. And it comes in both free and premium versions. Now this version or this update of the plugin is for the free version. Basically anyone who is using the plugin has access to its features. Now, while we are on the topic of features, it is important to know that this version of the plugin is packed with features and includes improvements to the workflow and introduction of new design capabilities. Now in this video we have touched on all of the topics briefly, and I have divided this video into 4 parts. Now the first part is where I will be sharing the setup I have used to create this video for you guys. In the second part, I have shared the workflow improvements that Elementor has released in this version of the plugin. In the third part, I have shared the new design capabilities that have been included in, or that have been released in Elementor 3.5. And in the fourth part, I have shared the improvement to the experiments tab and basically the new experiment that has been included in this version of the plugin. Now, just like every video, we have added the timestamps to each and every topic covered in this video in the description box below, along with the links to the free version of Elementor and the pro version of the plugin. Now it is important to know that some of the links in the description box below are affiliate links, which means we'll make a small commission if you decide to purchase products using our links. So with that said, let me start sharing the screen with you guys, and in the meantime you make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that bell notification icon on. Hello guys, and welcome to the setup of this video. As you can see, we have two tabs open in the browser. The first one is for Elementor 3.5, which has the version 3.5.6 of the plugin, and the second tab is for the Elementor 3.4 that has the version 3.4.8. Now as far as the theme is concerned, we are using the Hello theme on both these sides, and the reason behind this is it is a free theme by Elementor, so why not? The next question is why two tabs? The answer to this question is simple. We might have to compare certain changes or updates in the Elementor 3.5 to Elementor 3.4 to have a better understanding of the changes, and that's the only reason. So keeping that in mind, let's dive into this update. Now the first improvement that we are going to discuss in this video is the introduction of a new feature which is known as the mark widgets as favorite. Now to see this feature, what we have done is we have created a new post in both Elementor 3.5 and 3.4, And if you have been creating pages, posts, or any sections of Elementor, any sections of your website using Elementor, then there must be a few widgets that are, you can call them your go-to widgets or the most commonly used widgets. And using this feature you can basically add them to the new favorite section that you can see right over here. Now, to understand this feature better, let's just go to Elementor 3.4 and see if we find this favorite section in the previous version or not. Now in Elementor 3.4 you can see the favorite section is missing. The first section that you see is the basic. Now it is important to know, when you right click a widget in widget or element in Elementor 3.5, it shows you the option to add it as favorites. Now let's just right click any of these elements or widgets and see if we find the option to add it to widgets or not. Here we go, and you can see it shows you the the regular right click options that you get. The option to add it to favorites is missing. Now let's just go back to Elementor 3.5 and right click this section over here, inner section widget over here, and you see it shows you the option to add to favorites. Now when I click this, it will add it to favorites section. Okay, so this is the first change. Now in case you are wondering how to remove it from the favorite section, then what you can do is you can either right click over here and it will show you the option, or you can right click over here and it will show you the option, and then you just have to select this and it will remove it. It will remove the widget from the favorite section. So this is the first change. Now the next update that we are going to discuss in this video is the introduction of another new feature, and this feature lets you add media and template files directly onto your canvas or the Elementor editor. Now to understand this, let's just say you are creating a post or a page in Elementor and you are looking to upload an image. Now using this feature, what you can do is you can basically drag and drop that image to the canvas or the Elementor editor directly from your computer, and it will be uploaded to your media library. In case that is a template, it will be uploaded in your template library. Now to see this change, let's just go to Elementor 3.4 and let's just upload an image directly onto it. Now you can see I have selected this image and I would like to upload it to my post that I'm creating in Elementor 3.4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop it here. Now as soon as I drag and drop it, it opens it in a new tab rather than adding it onto the Elementor canvas. You can see it right over here. There is nothing, no image widget, no related widgets. Okay, it opens it in a new tab, which is this one. Now for the comparison purposes, let's just go to Elementor 3.5 and try and upload this exact same image and see what happens. Now as you can see, I'm trying to create this page in Elementor 3.5 and I would like to upload this image directly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop it right over here. Now you can see the first change right away. When I drag it to the canvas, it turns blue. It animates a little. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop it and it uploads the image. Now as soon as the image is uploaded, Elementor instantly adds an image widget. Okay, now I can size the image from here, which is this. I can caption it, link it, align it, do whatever is that I want to do. So this is the change that you will find in Elementor 3.5 and above. Now again, it is important to know, if you are uploading media files, then you can upload images, videos and GIFs. Those files will be found in the media library. What I can do right now here is I can save this post as draft and let me take you to the media library. Exit to dashboard. And you can see right over here, this image has been uploaded to the media library. Now in case you are uploading a template file, then that has to be .json extension and it will be found in the template library. Now make sure if you are uploading media using this technique, then the media is optimized properly. And in case you are going to upload images, then I will recommend using Optimol for compressing the images. It is an amazing plugin that I have been using for a long time now. Link to that plugin will be in the description box below. It is available in both free and premium versions. Feel free to check it out. Now the next change that has been introduced in Elementor 3.5 is that you will be able to select multiple elements or components on a page. Now first things first, these components can be anything. These could be, widgets that you have added. These could be the columns. These could be the complete sections. Whatever is that you want to select, and once you've selected them, you will be able to perform a bunch of actions on them. Now these actions are copy, delete, duplicate, paste style, and reset style. Now this feature is very similar to, let me just think of an example for this. So you can say, you can understand it this way, like you have 15 images on your computer and you want to delete like 5 of them out of those 15. So what you're gonna do here is you're gonna select 5 of those images, and then you will delete them and keep the rest of the 10 images that you have. So this is what this function lets you do here. So basically it lets you do much more than deleting something. It basically, using this function, you can impact multiple elements at the same time. It improves the workflow. It saves you a lot of time. Now to see this change, let's just go to Elementor 3.4 and see if this feature is available there. Now as you can see, we have, we have created two identical pages. You can see about company, and the second section is also about company, which is different, and the about company. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to, open the navigator and then try and select a few components and see what happens. Okay. Now to select multiple components in Elementor 3.5, what you have to do is you have to press Control or Command depending on the OS you are using, and then click, and then select using your click, whichever components is that you want to select. So you can see these are all of the components that are on the page. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to press Control and select this heading over here. It selects the heading. I'm going to select an image over here. What it does is it does not select, rather it takes me to that image. This means this does not work, this feature does not work in Elementor 3.4. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back to Elementor 3.5, open the navigator, and now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open this section. This is the heading that I'm going to select, and this is the image that I'm going to select. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press Control on my keyboard, select this heading, and then select this image. Let's just select this column as well. That's it. Now what we can do is we can right click it and it shows, reset styles, edit, duplicate, copy, paste styles, delete 4 items. Depends on you what you want to do basically. So this is another change that you will see in Elementor 3.5. Now the next topic that we are going to discuss in this video is the new design capabilities that have been introduced in Elementor 3.5. Now if you have been using Elementor, then you must be familiar with the fact that this plugin gives you a set of tools using which you can create impressive designs from scratch without having to worry about code. Now in this update, Elementor has given you access to 3 more design tools using which you can take your designs to the next level. And these are Transform, Text Stroke, and Word Spacing. Now before we move forward, it is important to know that I wouldn't be talking about these elements in too much detail. However, I have created basic examples to showcase what you can do with these properties. Keeping this in mind, The first property that we are going to discuss is the transform. Or using transform, you can add 2D or 3D transformation to an element. Now, first things first, you can find this in the advanced tab of any widget. Now for this example that I have created right over here, now this is basically a text path widget. Okay, and you must have seen, basically this type of an animation where when you hover your cursor over a stamp, it basically rotates on hover. So this is what I have created using a text path widget just to showcase what a transform can do to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this and I'm going to head over to advanced, and there you can see the transform widget. Now in the transform widget, you will find option to rotate, offset, scale, skew, or flip. So what I have done here is I have set the rotation to 180 degrees in the hover state and the scale to something. I'll show you the exact value, then I've set the transition. Now it is up to you, whatever is that you want to do. That totally depends on the kind of requirements that you have. However, the transform element will let you basically set the rotation, offset, scale, skew, and flip for a widget or an element in both normal and hover state. Now keeping this in mind, let me just click the hover button over here and let me click this edit icon over here, and you can see the rotation is set to 180 degrees. Now when we set the rotation to 180 degrees, what you will see here is that the blogging unplugged is at the bottom while the tagline is on top. Now what we can do here is when I hover my mouse pointer over it, it will bring the blogging unplugged on top and the tagline at the bottom. Okay, now the next is scale. Now you can see when I hover over it, it scales out. Okay, it grows basically. So for that, what I have done is I have set the scale here to 1.2. Now it depends on you. Again, you can change it easily using this bar over here or these arrows over here. It totally depends on you. So I have set it to 1.2 and then set the transition duration to 1163 ms, which basically gives it a little bit of refinement. That's what I'm gonna say here. Okay, the transition is not that quick. It's pretty refined, it's very slow, and you can see it happening. Okay, so this is what I have done here. I think you will be able to understand the basic working of a transform property. In future I'll create a detailed video on this. Okay, so the next design property that we are going to discuss after transform is text stroke, and what it does is it is basically used to highlight the headings, important headings on your page, as it adds an outline to it. You can see right over here on this example that this heading basically has a black colored outline to it. Okay, this heading is basically more eye-catchy than what we have over here. You can see the clear difference. Okay, now before we dive deeper into this, before we take a deeper look into this, it is important to know that text stroke is right now missing from the animated headline. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna add animated headline to this right over here. I'm gonna go to style, click headline, and you will see the text stroke is missing. Okay, now I'm gonna delete it. Okay, now you can find basically text stroke under the style, and there you see this property right over here. Now it is important to know that the animated headline widget is available for pro users, and if you have the pro license, then you will also have access to the site title, the post title, and the page title. Now text stroke widget is available for these widgets as well, or these elements as well. However, again, it is missing in animated headline as of now. Okay, so just for informational purposes, Elementor 3.6 is out. This video is very delayed. Okay, so text stroke is available in animated headlines in 3.6. So I will be doing a video on that as well. So make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. We are pretty much delayed on these videos. After I'm done with Elementor Pro 3.5, then everything will be on point and on time. Okay, so bear with me for a little while. Okay, so this is what is basically text stroke. So how I have created this example, let me show you what I've done here. So what I have done here is I have set the text color to nothing. Okay, then what I have done is I have added a text stroke which is black for 1 pixel. You can see it right over here. And then what I've done is I've set the text shadow color to something yellow, blur is set to 2, horizontal is set to 0, and vertical is set to 2. So this is basically what I've done with this example. It is pretty simple. You just have to try a few things out and you will get the hang of this. Transform is much more advanced than what is text stroke. Okay, so make sure you try these properties out in your next designs. You will surely love them. Okay, after the text stroke, the next property that we are going to discuss is the word spacing. Now, as the name suggests, this basically adds a spacing, extra spacing. Using it, you can add extra space in between two words. Now, this feature is very helpful if you are trying to use a font where the letters are or the words are too close to each other. Now before we dive into this example, you will find this in the style settings in typography. Okay, let me just click typography over here and you will see word spacing right below letter spacing, and you can set it for devices as well, mobile and tablet and mobile. Okay, so what I have done here is in this example, what I've done is basically I've selected the font family as rock salt. Okay, the weight is set to 600, the rest everything is default. Word spacing is 900 and text shadow is set to this thing, this blue color. The color of the text is basically missing, so I have basically replicated this example over here with the blue color and changed the font. Basically that is what I have done just to showcase you. Let me just go right over here and decrease the word spacing, and you will see this is how originally the font was, and now this thing is like this. Using the word spacing you can do this. Okay, so this is another very useful property that you can basically creatively use in your designs and make it more eye-catchy. Now after the new design features, the next change that we are going to discuss is the improvements to the interface of the experiments tab in Elementor. Now in case you are not familiar with experiments, then let me tell you, this feature was introduced in Elementor 3.1 and it is and basically Elementor has given you a way through this feature using which you can experience or you can say you can try out the features that are not yet officially released. Now I have written an article on Elementor 3.1 in case you want to check it out. The link to that will be in the description box below. Now in Elementor 3.5, the experiments tabs interface has been massively changed. And to see that change, let's just head over to Elementor 3.4 and see how the experiments tab was there. So here is the Elementor 3.4, and you can see the experiments tab was pretty basic. Okay, so in case you don't know how to visit the experiments tab, then you can find it in the Elementor, then settings, and then you got to click this experiments over here, and it will show you all of these experiments. It will take you to basically the experiment tab and will show you all of these features. Now you can see here that this tab is basically very basic, but it gives you all the information that you basically need. So what you can see here is that what this feature does. Basically, this is the description of the feature. Now by default this feature is active and the status is beta. Now you can see the improved asset loading feature right below it is in alpha and it is by default inactive. Okay, and the feature and what this feature basically does is written right over here. So basically you get all of the information, but it is not organized when you will see what they have done in Elementor 3.5. Now to see that, let's just head over to the 3.5 tab, and here you see the UI has massively changed. The first thing that you see is that you get two options right from the start, which are activate all experiments and deactivate all experiments. This feature was missing in Elementor 3.4. You can see this feature was missing. Now in case you want to activate all experiments, then you can click this button right over here, and in case you want to deactivate all experiments, then you can click right over here. Okay, now another thing that you will see is that the experiments are divided into two categories. The first category is the ongoing experiments, which is this one. All of the experiments that are either in alpha or in beta are listed under this section. Okay, you can see right over here the status is beta, and this is active right over here, active by default. Alpha not active. Okay, so you can see this is the first category. The second category is for the stable features. Now these features are almost ready to use kind of features. These features are mostly active by default. I think so these are all active by default. Okay, and to deactivate them you just have to select inactive and it will be deactivated. Okay, so these are basically the two categorizations. Now the benefit of this categorization is, in case you are not familiar with what to do with what feature and you want to activate some features, then you know that stable features are relatively safe to activate, while the ongoing experiments may not be that safe to experiment or that safe to try. Okay, so this is another change. Now before we move forward, it is important to know, in case an experiment is by default inactive over here, be it in alpha or beta, I will not recommend using it on a live website. I will say, if you want to try them out, do not try them on a staging environment as well. Try them on a local environment. There is a huge difference between two things. One is staging and the other one is local. Local is on your computer. It is not attached to your website, so you don't accidentally post something. Okay, so this is one thing that I would like to suggest you. Okay, in case you want to try, then try these experiments on a local website. Now in case you are a Elementor Pro user and want to try certain experiments that are available for pro users, and you want to try those experiments with the pro features, with the pro version active, then Elementor does allow you to activate your pro license in a staging or a local environment. I will create a video on this in the coming weeks so that you can do that easily. So this is the change. This is a very massive change, so make sure you check this feature out. Now, while we are on the topic of experiments, it is important to know that a new experiment inline font icons has been introduced in Elementor 3.5 update. Now, what this basically does is it basically renders the icon as inline SVG without having the need to load the font awesome and e icons library. Now this reduces the CSS and WOF sizes on each page, improving the performance of your website. Now you will find this experiment in the ongoing experiments right under here, right over here. You can see that. Now the status is alpha, and by default it is turned off. Now I will not recommend you enable this option on your live website. To try it out, you need to enable this on a local website. Make sure of it. It can, your certain features might not work properly when you enable this feature. Now in case when you enable this experiment, now in case you want to read more on this, then I will leave to an article by Elementor in the description box below. Make sure to check it out. Now this concludes everything that you need to know about the Elementor 3.5 update. In case you have any queries, then feel free to reach out via the comment section and I will try and help. Now if you have found the video helpful, then make sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Also, the links to our socials and Elementor Pro and the free version of Elementor are in the description box below. Make sure to follow us on other platforms as well. And with that said, I will see you in the next video.